Alright, welcome to the world's hardest game, Coding Level 2. We're going to code Level 2 in a series of 3 videos where we create this level right here. So we have our player right here in the middle. You can see it's in the finish line already, and we need to sneak out. We need to pick up this yellow dot and then make it back here to end the level, end the game. Right? Of course, we want to have all of our buttons working the same way. When we start a new game, we go to the first level, and actually right now, just to make coding a little bit easier, we have it where we jump right into level 2 right now. Won't be the case when we get our game finalized, but it works well to have that for coding purposes. Just a quick side note before we get moving. Obviously, I'm always encouraging you to do new and different levels. If you look at the game that you can play on Google Classroom, obviously we could play it straight through, but you can actually go to level select, and this gives you a lot of inspiration for different levels that you can go into. Some of them are pretty complex, the way that everything moves around, but there's a lot of cool things in here if you want to check those out on your own time. Alright, so we're going to start here where we left off on our last game. The only thing that's coded on here is level 1 and the home screen. So we'll jump right now into making level 2. In this tutorial, we're going to do the backdrop, and we are going to do the player as well. That's going to be moving around on the screen and all the boundaries and things like that. In the second tutorial, we'll go through the obstacles that you have to get around, as well as that yellow dot you need to pick up. Then in our final video, we're going to code in winning the game at the finish line and blending that all into the rest of the levels that we have so far. So we'll start up here, and we're going to have to make our backdrop for level number 2. So if we look into our backdrops, you see we have level number 1. We're going to need to duplicate that, and we're going to need to get level 2. It already populates right here because one is going to change 1 into 2 for us. It's kind of nice the way it works like that. All right, remember what our level is going to look like. Okay, we have a white box going around the outside here, and then we have this little notch up at the top where our yellow ball is going to be. All right, so that can go here, and we have our backdrop. Looks like it's all set up and ready to go. Now we'll go into our code and just clean some things up in here. We're first of all going to want to have when I receive start level 2, right, which we would have to make a new message if we didn't have that one just yet. So we'll say when we receive start level 2, we are going to switch our backdrop to level 2, which we have right here. Right, we're also going to want to put in for coding purposes, so we don't have to play the game every time we want to test it. We will just change our green flag to say stop level 1, stop the home screen, and start level 2, so we can jump right into it there. All right, so we'll go to our broadcast right here. We're going to end home screen. We're going to end level 1, and we're also going to start level 2. All right, and that should clean everything up and give us our nice background that we want right here. All right. Looks like everything is pretty much the way we want it to be. Obviously, again, we'll just throw this out there. We won't have this when the game is finalized, but for right now, for coding purposes, it's very convenient to jump to the part of the game that we want to go to. All right. So now we have to make some modifications to our player to be able to do things for level 2. If you remember before, we put everything in a nice big column that was all in level 1, which we have right here. Right? So start level 1, all of this stuff is right on here the way it should be, and we can actually just duplicate this for level 2. So we're going to duplicate, we're going to go here, and now we want to say for when we start level 2, we want to show, and we want to have all these arrow key movements the same way. Right? So our player shows up. We don't want it to start here though, we want it to start in the middle of our box that we have over here. So we'll go to motion, and we're going to have to bring in a new command to populate that right in the middle. Where are we? 24 and -4. So we'll grab 24 and -4, drop it right in here, and we're going to delete this. Right now is a great place just kind of looking into the future. When levels change, when we go, say for this case, from level 1 to level 2, there are a lot of sprites that are hidden, a lot of them that show up, and they all, of course, interact with the player. I think it's a good idea to give the computer a little bit of processing time to end level 1 and start level 2 before the player starts interacting with all the sprites on here. So I like to go into control, and we'll just put a wait command in here. It can be really short, like maybe 0.1 or 0.2 seconds. It's so short that the player won't even realize that there's a delay there. Hopefully they're not that impatient, but it gives a little bit of processing time for things to go away and things to pop back up before we actually start playing. Alright, so now when we click this, start level 2 happened, we're able to move around. Alright, we're going outside the boundaries here, which we don't want. The good news is we can duplicate everything that we had before from where we did level 1, right, to get all of our boundaries going the right way. But we'll just have this for happen when you start level 2. Now when we click this, right, we're hitting our boundaries, and we got to stay in bounds like we were for level 1. Alright. We will also do one of these, so when it receives end level 1, we're going to hide. Now we'll just duplicate this, and we'll put it down here so it's nice and neat, but we'll say when I receive end level 2, then we're going to hide this as well. End level 2 doesn't exist yet, so we can actually put that in right now. Oh, I was actually typing. There we go, end L2, then we're going to hide. Alright. So everything is set up for us now to be able to move on to the other parts of these other parts of the levels. We're going to do that in a different tutorial, where the next time we'll make the next tutorial will make all of the obstacles as well as the yellow ball up here. Then we'll put in winning the game and blending it to the rest of the game following that.